TYT Sports, it has been not abysmal, but definitely an underachieving year for the Boston Celtics. In their last game, they squandered a 23-point lead against the Atlanta Hawks, who of course don't even have Kirk Hinrich anymore. Kidding. And Rajon Rondo, they initially ruled his injury that occurred in that game a hyperextended right knee. Now, he tried testing it out today. Their game was a primetime game on NBC. They hosted the Miami Heat. They ended up winning that game in 2 overtimes, 198. You would think there would be more points in 2 overtimes, but still, it was a fun game to watch. Now, he tried basically going and practicing prior to the game, and it was discomfort basically for him, and they ruled him out. It was later announced prior to the game that he has a torn ACL, something Bulls fans know all about with our star point guard, their star point guard, Derrick Rose. So he will miss the remainder of the season. A huge, huge blow for the Boston Celtics, who have not only do they have a losing record, they're 20-23, but they're only 2 games up on the Philadelphia 76ers, and they have the 8th spot right now. Rajon Rondo was going to start in the All-Star game. He was elected to, I believe this would have been his 5th. He has been elected to 4 All-Star games. Again, a 12-month recovery coming back from a torn ACL. You just hope that he's going to be the same kind of player. It's not just Celtics fans, it's NBA fans who are going to suffer with this injury. Why exactly? Because he brings so much to the table with this Celtics team. Granted, they won today 198, again in 2 overtimes. It was a great game. And granted, they had lost 6 in a row prior to this injury. Rajon Rondo helps the NBA as a brand and as a whole. I know a lot of people are turned off by his post-game comments, the way he dresses sometimes, pushing a cameraman, getting in his face, telling him not to film him anymore, whatever, what have you. He is a phenomenal basketball player, And he brings a lot to the table every single night. And not only that, the Celtics are always going to be relevant, but he makes them more relevant. He makes them a better team. He had incredible numbers this year. Let me read those to you. 13 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 11 assists per game in 37 minutes per game. He's just under 14 points per game. So now when you think about who exactly is going to step up and step into the point guard role, well, firstly, Avery Bradley is a lockdown defender, good basketball player. Not sure he can really run the point. Courtney Lee has been inserted a few times here and there. Jason Terry's mainly a 2-guard who works off the ball. Leandro Barbosa had some quality minutes. Jared Sullinger was even inserted, not obviously into the point guard role, but he was inserted into the starting rotation. So you got to think Danny Ainge is that kind of GM that loves to make a trade. He loves to make big moves. He likes to stir headlines. One name that certainly came to my mind is Jose Calderon. Of course, that is if they can get the paperwork in place for the 2 sides to reach an agreement. So who exactly do you think that they should go after? Leave a thought in the comments. I'll try to reply to as many as I can. Now the question is, who will fill his spot in the All-Star game? And not only that, but who will start? 2 names that come to my mind, or at least 3 of them, are actually Brook Lopez, Joe Johnson, and Darren Williams. Although Darren Williams has not had a great, let's say, last 5 games or so. Now, Sports Illustrated, this is pretty good. For comparison's sake, entering Sunday, Rondo had registered more than twice as many assists, 420, as Bradley, 420, man. Avery Bradley, Jason Terry, Leandro Barbosa, and Courtney Lee combined. They have 203. Worse yet, Boston's attack has sputtered this season, even with Rondo ranking number 23 in the league in offensive efficiency. Now what? That's where I turn to you guys in the comments section. Where exactly do the Celtics go from here? You know, this is basically, do they basically take another year off and rebuild and yet have Kevin Garnett be a year older if he decides to come back? Jason Terry, Paul Pierce, all of them get a year older. Or do they try to land a solid point guard who can start and try to save this season? Come playoff time, you never know really what can happen. All that matters is that you get in. Obviously, they'd be matched up with the Heat, which is an impossible matchup. But you have to think that they wouldn't finish in the 8th spot if they do land that solid point guard. A good win today, however, beating the Miami Heat 100-98. But who should they try to land? Who should Danny Ainge call up? Leave a thought in the comments and subscribe to TYT Sports.